Hi everyone, today we're going to do multiplication using area model. Now 18 times 3, how do we do this? Let's have a look at this distributive law. Now what's a distributive law? That's quite a mouthful word there. It just means multiplying a number by a group of numbers added together. What that really means, so we got 18 times 3. I'm going to break that 18 into little parts. But when I break them into little parts, I'm going to actually leave as tens as much as I can. So with the 18, I got 1 10 there, and I have an 8. So 10 plus 8 makes 18. Well, that's okay. I can do that. And times by 3. It's the same as 18 times 3. Now, if you think 8 is a little bit big to handle, you can still break it down further. So I would like to keep it as 10s or 5s because it's easier for me when I multiply. So I'm going to go with 8, break them into 5 and 3. So I can write 18 is 10 plus 5 plus 3. And if I want to, I can break 3 into 2 parts, 2 plus 1. Now, what does it look like in area and visual term? It'll look like this. First, rectangle. Now, we also need to know how to find area of rectangle here. For area of rectangle, we go by length times width. First rectangle has 2 parts. Now, remember we did 18 into 10 plus 8. Your length will become 10 and 8. So there's 2 parts, which means 2 areas. So we're going to find the 2 areas and then going to add them up. And that'll give us total area. So that'll be the answer for 18 times 3. So think of it as 18 times 3 as area. And I'm going to keep the smaller number as my width, which is 3. The second expression, we actually break it down 18 a little bit further with the 10s and 5s. 1 10, 1 5, and the other one left over is 3 to make total of 18. And then times by width, which is 3. Total of the rectangle on the top and the bottom are the same. We just broke it down 8 into 2 parts, but it's still 8. Okay, so let's have a look at the first one. I'm going to find the area of orange rectangle, 3 times 10, because the area of rectangle is length times width. So if I do 3 times 10, I will get 30. And the next one, my blue one, is 3 times 8, because that 3 is still 3 here, isn't it? So length times width, 8 times 3, 24. My total area is 30 plus 24, which will give me 54. Now that'll be a lot easier than doing 18 times 3 straight away, wouldn't it? If I break it down 8 into 2 parts, it'll be 5 plus 3 if I want to keep my 5s. We know that 3 times 10 is 30. That's the area of the orange rectangle. Now, the second part is a 3 times 5. Remember, this is still 3, and I'm looking at this 5 here. So 3 times 5 is 15. Then my third part, now we are looking at this one, is 3 times 3. It's 9. Okay, so we got 3 parts to add up to make a total area. So it'd be 30 plus 15 plus 9. Now, it might be a little bit tricky, so let's do a little bit by bit. So I'm going to add first 2. So 30 plus 15 is 45. 45 plus 9 is 54. So they are the same. So it's up to you how many parts you would like to make it. and add them all up. Let's have a look at just using number sentence without using diagram. We need to know your place value for this. So 8 is ones place, and 1 is not ones place, it's a tens place. Okay, so I'm gonna 3 times 8. It's not a problem because just ones place times ones place is just number. So 3 times 8, 24. 4 down on the ones place, and I have 20 to put it somewhere. So I'm going to put it here with 10. That 1 is not just 1, it's a 10. So I'm not going to leave it somewhere. I'm just going to add it on to the tens place. Now I'm going to times 3 times 10 really is 30. Now that 30, and then I had 20 from before. I'm going to add it together. It'll be 50. So I'm going to put 5 onto the tens place, which is 50. So from now on, I'm going to make them as just 2 and 1 and 5 like that, but they are 20, 10, and 50 because of place value. The answer is 54, just the same as what we did with using area model. Next question. 25 times 13. How do I put this into area model? Okay, now I'm breaking both numbers down. So 25, I think I'm going to go with a 20 plus 5. 13, okay, I'm going to break it into 10. So it'll be 10 plus 3. So remember, keeping things in the rectangle is very important. Instead of a 2 parts I have to add up to, I've got 4 parts to add up. So I'm going to look at this orange first rectangle, which is 20 times 10 is 200. The next one, the blue one, is 20 times 3. 3 20s, that's a 60. Green one, 5 10s, which is 50. And then 3 5s, 15. So my total area of this rectangle, I have to add it all up. 200 plus 60 plus 50 plus 15. I'm going to 60 plus 50. So I'm going to go 20 plus, that's 110 plus 15. Okay, I'm going to add this together. I'm going to leave it 200 because it's easy to add 200. So 110 plus 15 is 125. Okay, so if I add it all together, I'll have a 325. Okay, so my answer for 25 times 13 is 325. Now, if I don't want to use the area model, I'm going to have to times this with 5 and 20, really, because 25. So let's have a look at that. So 3 times 5 is 15. So I'm going to put 5 down. 15, so 10 goes into my 10th place. And then I have to do 3 times 2, which is 6, really, to 60. So 60 plus 10 is 70. So my answer for 25 times 3 is 75. Now I'm going to have to, I need to times by 10 times 5, and I need to do 10 times 2. Well, 20 really. So all the numbers going to start with the tens place now because I'm going to do 10 times 5, which is 50. So this ones place is empty. I don't really have anything on a ones place. I'm going to start with the tens place. 10 times 5 is 50. So I'm going to write it just 5, which makes it 50. That's easy. And then I'm going to go 10 times 20 because I'm going to go 10 times 20. Even if it's a 2, it's not really 2, it's 20. Remember that. So 10 times 20 is 200. 200. And I'm going to add all up. So when I add up is 5, because we are very good at adding, aren't we? 7 plus 5 is 12. So I'm going to put 2 down, 1 up. Now, that is really 325 as my answer, which is exactly the same as the one that before we use the area model. It's very important you understand place value. Let's go with a bit harder one. 148 times 23. If I put that into area model, so I need to break it down. This one is 100, and then I will go 40, and then I'll go 8. Okay, so I'm going to add 100 plus 40 plus 8, which will make 148. 23, I will keep it as 20 plus 3. You can break it down further if you like. Okay, let's have a look what I've done. So on my width area, which is here, 20 plus 3. So when you add it together, I will get 23, just like that here. And then my length part, I got 100 plus 40 plus 8, which is 148. So we got 6 areas to find and add it all up. So let's have a look at the first one. First one is 20 times 100. So that would be 2,000. Okay, well, let's have a look at the next one. 3 times 100. Well, that's okay. That's a 300. Next one, the blue one, 40 times 20, because this is still 20 here. This is still 3. So 40 times 20. Ooh, remember, there's 2 zeros there. So I'm going to just leave that one as 20 and times the numbers only together in the front. So 2 times 4 is 8. So there you go. I've got 800. Fourth one, 40 times 3. So I'm going to put 0 here because I'm going to have a 0 at the end. 3 times 4, 12. Okay, so it becomes 120. My fifth one is 20 times 8. I know that it's going to be 0 at the end. 2 times 8, which is double of 8, is 16. So 160. My last area is 3 times 8 is 24. Wow, that's a lot to add, but I think we love adding. I think sometimes it's easier to write it in a vertically and add it all up. So let's add up the ones place. I only got 4. That's lucky. My tens place, I have 2, 20, actually 60 and 20. Oh, that's 100. So I'm going to put 0 there and 1 up. 100 plus 300 plus 800 plus 100 plus 100. But to make it a little bit less mouthful, I'm going to go 1 plus 3 plus 8 plus 1 plus 1. That's 14. So I'm going to put 4 here and 1 up here. So that 1 is really 1,000. I'm going to just say 1 plus 2, there's a 3. So really it was 1,000 plus 2,000, which will make 3,000. So your answer is 3,404. If I don't want to use area model, how would I do this? I'm going to use my ones place, which is a 3, and I have to times each one of them. So I'm going to times 3 with 8 and then times with 40 and times with 100 because I'm actually timesing 148. So 3 times 8 is not too bad. 24. So I'm going to put 4 there. My 20 goes on top of 40. And then 3 times 40 is 120, isn't it? Or you can just think of it as simply 3 times 4 is 12. But we got 2 there, which is really 20. So it's like 140, but I'm going to say it's 14. So I'm going to put 4 and 1 up here, which is 100. So now 3 times 100 is 300, but I had 100 before, so it'll be 400. Okay. Next one, I need to times by with my 20, with the 8, and the 40, and 100. Now, because I'm going to start with 20, which is my tens place, I won't have any ones number. So I'm going to put 0 there. 20 times 8 is 160. But to be less mouthful, I'm just going to go with a 3 times 8. So that'll be 16, right? So I'm going to put 6 there and put 1 in here, which is 10. 2 times 40, which is 80, and the plus 10 is 90. So I'm going to put 9 there. 20 times 100 is 2,000. So it's 2,960. Now I'm going to add it all up, starting from the back. 4 plus 6, which is 40 plus 60, is 100. So I'm going to put 0 there, 1 up. 14, 4 down, 1 up, and 3. Okay, so it's a 3,404, just like area model, exactly the same. I think it's easier to use area model when you're not so confident with the multiplication. It's okay to use diagrams and fingers because that's all part of learning. So hopefully practice more of those questions using area model or not using area model. Doesn't really matter. Just practice. Okay then, bye.